Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I hope you are all doing well. Uh, I was up very early this morning and got a lot of things accomplished, especially my yoga session today. I did everything on the floor, sitting down and lying on the floor, which is very tough actually. But if you do that after you have some experience and expertise in all the asanas, you can get a lot out of that, right? So you don't need any equipment. Of course, my living room is carpeted, but there's an extra carpet on that, but it's for the decoration. So a lot of space alone, and I was able to do that. My wife is not up at the tower, and I started to do that, and I enjoyed a cricket game of my favorite team. They won this morning. And then I had a very lovely breakfast and again had some more exercise in the basement in my wellness club, yoga club. And I thought I will spend some time with you, especially to really make you aware of what I'm doing with this project called. A lot of people want to develop um, themselves, right? So, but then most of the development is due to they have a survival instinct and they want to live. They want to live better, but they don't know what is the better living is, and just living itself is satisfactory or too much for a lot of people. We can understand, but if you take the human beings versus animals, animals kind of survive and their instincts are everything to survive, but we have the capacity to really think, to really recall what we live, and to really project into the future and determine how we want to be. And you can have the evolution of your mind and your heart and your spirit, and you can have the ceiling as high as you want, right? So so survival itself is important, but it's not the only thing. After you survive, why are you surviving? What are you trying to achieve and all that, there is a state in human beings evolution that you could be the most peaceful, blissful, happy person just by understanding yourself, understanding your inner thoughts and feelings, and then go to a stage where you are alert, awake, aware, but not sleepy. And then you can really discover a lot of things in that silence. If you can really achieve the silence by calming your superficial mind, right? So the limbic system, the lower mind, is kind of instinctive, but the higher mind is where the discrimination, um, control of lower impulses, all those things are there. We can go into that state as human beings without a psychologist, without a religious guru, just by understanding how to inquire into yourself, right? But that also evolution, because a lot of human beings in the ancient times have done a lot of work on that and gave us some guidance. So I kind of want to introduce or really explore those insights that they gave us into our body maintenance, mind maintenance, heart, really being in the heartfulness, and also as a spirit, understanding we are all in one energy. And then how can you be that kind of spirit, kind, compassionate, empathetic, friendly, and really giving a good time, right? So that is there. So I want to gather some people who are interested in that, and then invite them to be part of my wellness club and part of my Facebook group, which is called Conquer Burnout, and also attend my webinars on this subject by invitation, and really prolong the discussion, or give a atmosphere where people can discuss these things freely, and really uh, grow from that experience. Okay, that's my wish. I hope people will respond positively to this, and if they are, then DM me or send me a message that you are interested. Then I will let you know the Zoom sessions for this particular activity, and private group can meet. And I will always come here and talk about things. You can always ask me questions here. I have no problem with that. But it's uh, much more oriented towards this kind of subjects, and then really, um, really explore ourselves, right? So that's my intention. Hopefully, you will be understanding this, because this particular activity is personal, is beyond all the religions, beyond all the nationalities, races, or gender, or anything like that. You only need to you have a willingness to turn the mind inward and find out about yourself by yourself, and then have the transformation that will come by doing this kind of inner inquiry. They call this self inquiry. Okay, there's a method to do that, there is a way to do that, and also continue that while you are on your own. Okay, that kind of thing I want to promote, and you don't have to belong to any particular thing for this. You just be willing to inquire into yourself, and then you don't have to reveal everything either, but just learn the techniques and um, kriyas. Kriyas means that is some actions that you could do. um, it's basically, I call this enhancing the human being. Enhancing the human being again has human and being. Human comes from humora, that is from the earth, all this body and the brain, along with that the mind come. But the electricity, the spirit is like a spark, is like a light that kind of enlightens the body and mind. See, it's called uh, Jadachitta Mudi. That is a knot that is tying between the consciousness and the body mind, right? So, body mind are basically inert, but once the life force comes in, they get animated, right? That is common sense. Everybody can see that. And then you can call that spark God. You can call spark as consciousness, or your spirit, or your light, or your love, or anything, right? Number of terms are given, but basically when the two cells combine, the spark that happens gives the life, right? And that life force is the one which comes and gives us animation of the body and mind. And understanding body and how to really have the optimum effect of the body, and also the mind. How do you understand? How do you manage your mind without driving you crazy? And how do you understand the uh, how do you understand the uh, spirit, and then how, what is it that you could do with that too? So all these things are done by first hand by everybody. Okay, you can be shown a path to walk on that, but then that path has to be walked by each one of us. Okay, if you are interested, let me know, and I'll be happy to send you the Zoom link. When I plan to probably meet once a week on this, preferably Saturday mornings or afternoons, Maybe afternoon is good for people, that we could do that. And hopefully this will take off and people will get benefited by the inquiry that they will do. So people who are interested in this are rare. People who are doing this are much more rare. People who really get a benefit out of this, much, much rarer. But then once you really understand and get into that, it is a really very important for people to do. One of the things is when you really realize your true self, true nature of yours inside, you will have the highest health, body wise and mind wise. That is a side effect actually. But then the peace, the happiness, the bliss that you enjoy is really authentic, because you are not getting it because of some medication, or you are not getting it because you are worshiping or following somebody, but you are doing your own hard work. And even if you don't want to participate, it's not like a shameful thing or anything. You just are not ready, that's fine. But if you are ready, if you want to do it, I'm willing to share what I learned from the ancient wisdom, how that has really transformed my life in terms of how I feel, body wise, mind wise, and how I encounter problems, how I really don't allow my mind to go worry or get depressed or anything like that. Uh, on the other hand, I enjoy a status under the body and mind, a quietude, a kind of nice joyous, blissful feeling, right? That is real. That's not imagined. That is not given because of taken some medications or external agents to stimulate. None of that. So, in that joyous oneness that you feel with everybody, you kind of share. Okay, with that spirit, I just want to share this. If anybody is interested, then call me or DM me. If you are not interested, also that's fine, no problem. But I will continue come talk about what is the virtue of aiming for beyond survival, and aiming beyond the pleasures of this place, and going into the deeper quietude and real self-realization, they call it, realizing who we really are, what is our nature. So the body and mind has to work as tools to prepare us to get into that state where we really feel very healthy, happy, peaceful, and blissful. So that's my way of looking at this. I got actually a foundation for certificate, or not certificate, is fellowship of self-realization. But that is different. I mean, there's a graduation of what this activity I'm talking about, but that is for really, really interested people who are completely into it and then have progressed a lot. So I don't want to force anybody, or I don't want to say somebody is not qualified for it. That's not the idea. The idea is to just provide a space where this is psychologically safe to come and understand what's going on and participate. Why Zoom is we can control the atmosphere better, and so we can have privacy, and also we can explore things in a very safe manner, among friends, not, but also don't bring all the extraneous things apart from what we are doing. So there will be specific ways, like for example, if I start with how do you make your body the utmost, how do you make the mind the utmost, how do you make your, that may be good enough for a lot of people, but then we will not deviate from that. So I would not really encourage people to bring in stuff that doesn't belong there. Even for that also, we really have to screen people and make sure they are ready or they are willing to go through that by themselves. Okay, but these are called satsangs. Sats means good people. Sang means association. So there are no expectations and just the participation sincerely and also really understand the purpose and work towards the purpose or help to organize towards that purpose. But if you're in my rooms, what happens is a lot of people come and they don't say anything on the topic. They want to say something that they are doing or something that they understand, and they want to promote themselves or get a business. This is not for people like that. This is for people who are sincere in the quest, in the spiritual quest, and then they are not really fundamentally wedded to something that they want to rub it on somebody else. This is not for those people. This is for the people who are open, broad-minded, open-minded, and willing to learn, not from books, from their own experience, their own exploration. But if you want to engage in the kind of exploration, I would suggest some ways. You may agree or you may not agree, but if you agree and you want to try it out, it's always better to not to think a lot about it, but just do that. For example, if I say, get up in the morning and sit in the bed and take 10 breaths. We are not changing any theories or anything. We're just giving you something physiological, which is very good for you. And if you do that, it will be much better. If I say, be in the awareness, don't be in the thought train, do that, then you will benefit. So for me, I am in awareness and use the thought as a tool. So that's a technique that you can learn. But if your thoughts are so overwhelming, dominating you, so obviously you have some work to do. But if you start like me in silence, and then you start to communicate or to express your opinion or your conclusions or your experience, that's fine. But then if you insist on they agree with you, they have to be one like-mindedness and all that, then you lost it. So that's a proposal. uh, I wonder how many people really take this. I'm not expecting many, if at all, at least one or two of them. But I will go and arrange the Zoom session and invite people to come and join. Obviously, the members in my wellness club automatically join that. But then, if you don't want to be there, that's fine too. But if you just want to be here just for intellectual or academic or your spiritual needs and all that, you are more than welcome. Okay, people with confusion, people with lot of suffering going on, and people with really uh, establish themselves in some thought patterns, they may find this very, very difficult to follow. But that's okay. We can be sympathetic to them. But basically, this is a individual self-inquiry that people can do on their own. But the path for that will be suggested, and you don't have to literally follow that, but you both kind of understand this is something I want to engage in, and then you can try it on your own. Okay, so you will be shown some routines that I am doing and other people are doing that are helping us to maintain the body and mind better, and also go for the bigger inquiries that way. And if the more you're open, the more you are sharing, the more the sharing of the guidance will happen. Okay. Otherwise, it's not like a big deal. Okay. So understand that. And anybody has any comments on this, please come up and let me know. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be closing in a few minutes. I just came here just to announce this initiative. So that is, oh yeah, Hakeem. Hi, Hakeem.
Hello, Doctor. Hi, Dr. Rob. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay. So, what do you think of for this initiative?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What do you think about this initiative?
Well, just in the simplest approach to it is that um, I prefer to work on the side of evolving
Yeah,
rather than mere survival, which
yeah,
many people use rhyming terms and say, do you want to simply survive or do you want to thrive?
yeah,
And I would say that that evolving
yeah,
is on the thriving side of it.
yeah,
And I think that it's important for us to realize that although this particular physical incarnation of ourselves happens to be finite,
yeah,
there are many opportunities for us to evolve while we're here, instead of just basic survival. I mean,
yeah.
It's a very sad state of affairs to see that there are many people who are living on the streets.
Let me poke your mind here, Hakim. What
Yeah.
if this physical survival is not finite? That means you have another birth, another birth, another birth.
Well, I mean, each physical manifestation in itself is finite, right?
Yeah, but that is the modern thinking. But the ancients say, no, you are like the soul takes the body and then it goes to the next life and it takes another body. Now, I just want to think about it, not saying anything, this is so, but what if that is the case?
No, I think we're talking about the same thing. I mean, the soul is simply just going to different body.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's correct.
So the physical existence is eternal, or at least it's continuous, right?
Physical existence is finite, but then body is infinite or not is the question of belief, right? The people ancients believe that we have reincarnation and then we change bodies all the time. But in the West, they think, oh, this is the only body we have to live this life. So I'm just posing a question, nothing concrete about this. Don't worry.
Well, I'd like a feedback.
Yeah, please come back. I think we are talking the same thing, but we are trying to understand each other. That's all.
So, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
I know that you bounced into my talk that I was in earlier, where I was named.
Yeah.
It's because another book that I'm writing, but that's a big part of the subject in the book is the idea of reincarnation. Your soul is eternal, right?
Yeah, that's it.
But it goes from one body to the next. So I have this understanding.
Yeah.
The issue that I'm dealing with is the fact that there's a problem where some people will say that this is as it should be, but I think that it's an issue that we don't remember every single life before. I feel like we should be able to continue. Our memory should be connected from one life to the next, and that's the best way to grow. I know that some people will say that, well, the learning that you have in a previous life, you take with you in your next life. It's just that it's embedded in you. You come into your next life with these gifts and this learning. You don't necessarily know where it came from, but it came from your previous incarnation, and that's what we're here to learn.
This is a big topic in yoga. They call them samskaras, that you have learned these habits in your past life, and then they're embodied in you, and you kind of act like that. For example, there was this Sadguru that going through. He was a man of catching serpents and playing with them in his previous life. So this life, 80 years old, he's very comfortable with snakes. And he used to catch like a 5 feet, 10 feet cobras and then bring them home and put them in his own room and all that. They are his friends like. They don't harm him because he's so comfortable. So how do you explain that? With our rational mind, we dismiss something nonsense, you know? But there are so many cases like that. One thing is, in a treatment, when you see somebody, you can see somebody has these samskaras from the childhood, and then you can explain. Yeah, I can help them better that way, you know.
Do you know the story of Suresh Verma?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The little boy, he came back and so there's a lot of stories like that too.
Yeah.
But that's what I think should be the norm. I think that people, as we continue, it's just a matter of opinion.
I know. I don't know whether I should use. I will use the should though, because more like people evolve into that understanding. Let them be. You know, we don't want to force them into. You have to believe this. That becomes a dogmatic again.
Yes.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
That's why I said. Yeah, that's why I said it's my opinion.
Yeah, like you should. Yeah. But when you say it should be seen like that, they don't, because they think we are crazy. You think like that, you know, that kind of. Come back, Kim. I think that's very interesting what you're talking about.
But, you know, so what I was saying is, and you're right. That's correct. I agree with what you're saying, that, you know, saying should is sort of dogmatic. So I don't ever want to be dogmatic in that way. I'm very opinionated in my frustration with things sometimes, that I've gotten this position where I feel like I no longer want to forget. I would like to be, it's fine if I have to start another life again and be born, but I want to remember.
You see, I come from the scientific background too. So what it is in the scientific background, we have this showing the truth and then reproducibility. So that's why we kind of want to prove the truth, and that should be reproduced by other people. In this one, this is the self-inquiry, where we find about who we are, what we are. When you turn inward and finding out, we are all in the same path at different stages. So you kind of tolerate people better, because they may be at a lower step, where somebody else may be a couple of steps ahead of them. But you know they are going to come up those 2 steps too. So it gives a lot of leeway for people to engage in the scientific inquiry of themselves within, not following anybody, but just putting their energy into that. So these books, writing are all fine, but then if they become the tools of propaganda, then we are not allowing people to engage in their own self-inquiry, scientific self-inquiry. Yeah, that's what I was proposing. What I was proposing is, let us gather together who have this inquisitiveness, who have this tendency to find out the truths of the life, then in a safe atmosphere where nobody is going to push anybody, but then together inquire. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, Dr. Rao, what I would like to do is, I'm going to give you, when I'm done with it, an advanced copy of my latest book. I'm going to publish it under science fiction, but I'd like for you to look at it, because the ideas about reincarnation and memory and everything like that are very heavily discussed and written about in that book. It's a collection of essays, and I'd be
I'll
look at it and
I'll be happy to.
What you think about it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that, Hakim. No problem. I'll be doing that.
Awesome.
But meanwhile, I'm inviting people. I'm inviting people to a Zoom session where this kind of deeper aspects of life, without any particular conclusions, can be explored. Basically, how is your mind tendencies? Where are you going with your mind? How do you examine that? That kind of thing will be done.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Yeah. So that's what I want to extend the invitation to people, so that they can DM me if you are interested. Then I will give you the Zoom link. It will start next Saturday, either in the morning or afternoon, according to the people who responded, what their choice is. According to that, I will do that. And that will be a private meeting, though. So we don't want to open to the public, but more like a people who are friends, who are really discussing deeper aspects of life, engage in that. And I will introduce my way of looking at it, my way of how I come it, and then you can take it what you like, or you can reject what you don't like. That's okay. But it's not like a people have to implement right away. People are invited to look at them and take them and experiment with them, and then come back the next week and let us discuss how your experience was. It will taint by your own life, your own experience in the past, your own history of learning and all that. But then once the more open you are to your own conclusions, everything, the more you will liberate yourself from your own dogmatic thinking or whatever, right? So hopefully that will help you people. Anybody else wants to come up before I close? I just wanted to introduce this topic and see anybody is interested in that or not. That's why I came up. So I'm going to follow the people who are here, who I'm not following, and a couple of people are there. Deb Wright and Robin Pryor, I'm following them. I will see you back again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for my 1 a day tip on wellness, which I'm doing every day. 15 days were done, 45 days more. It is done only on the weekdays. You can review the other topics if you want to go back. There should all be there, the recordings. And again, I will start tomorrow. The day 16 will start on Monday, tomorrow. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm doing the wellness club in the morning again because my student wants to come earlier, which is a good thing for me. I like the early morning hours. And then I'm going to do the webinars on this new topic. I will call this um, enhancement of the human being. That will be the title, and we will explore how do you enhance the body, mind, and all that. And people can be taking partnership in my wellness club and in my Conquer Burnout Facebook group. Or you can visit my website. There's a newly revamped website, still the same thing, bapal.net, BEAPAL.net. That is my website. It should be there on my profile too. Thank you, and I will see you again as the time permits. Bye bye.